Welcome back to Y&R For Life, where we talk about all things Y&R related. We talk about what's going on, my predictions, what I think's going to happen. Hey, we even talk about fashion on the show from time to time because I'm a big time fashion girl, so we got to spill the tea about that. If you're new to this channel, my question is, what took you so long to get here? And if you are returning, what's up? Long time no see. Well, I really don't even know what to say about this week. A bit of a sleeper, but we learn a few more things. So we're going to see where this takes us and just hope for the best. Couple of disclaimers: if you don't want to know what's going on, you kind of want to get caught up on your own, this may not be what you want to see or hear, but I am so grateful that you are here. And if I happen to not mention anything in particular, it could be because I plumb forgot, or it really just wasn't newsworthy, so I didn't bother mentioning it. It is what it is, nature of the beast, that's what I like to call it. And if you do like this type of content, you like what you see, you like what you hear, it'd be so kind if you hit that like and subscribe button down below, and also the bell notification so that you don't miss a single video that I post here on Y&R For Life. Okay, just before I began, my daughter, she made me a note and she basically said, and it's supposed to say Audra, but it says to basically talk about Audra's dress. So before I forget, her white dress on point throughout this week, and this is the white dress she wore when she met up with Victor. So we'll get to that. But the beginning of the week, we saw Claire and Victoria and Nikki, they're all getting ready for Cole's memorial. Once again, I said they just kind of did his, his passing kind of dirty. And even Damien, I don't even know if we're going to see anything concerning that, but we did, see a snippet of Nate, I guess, in preparation for that, but who knows what's that all about. And as for Chance, he was mentioned, but I don't know. They should really have like a huge send-off for him, but we don't know. So anyway, back to Cole. They were all preparing for his memorial, and again, Victor, Nick was there, Adam, I think Chelsea was there as well. But Kyle, he shows up. And of course, that puts a knicker, or a knot, if you will, in Victor's knickers, because he doesn't like Kyle. Now, my thing is this. He was all gung-ho with Kyle with Summer. But now, because of Claire, and I'm just wondering if it's the newness of Claire, why he's got like this like kung fu grip, this clutch on her. Let her be free. I feel that at some point, and I've said this before, but I feel at some point she's going to go and revert back to her crazy ways. This might be enough to push her over the edge. So Kyle had come to be with Claire early enough so that they all could ride to the memorial together. Victor, he learns of this and he sees him there, and it is a total bee in his bonnet. But he's of course got to make a couple little dig remarks concerning Kyle right in front of everybody. But of course, Kyle, he could care less because he's used to this nonsense. And this whole flip-floppy with Victor, where it comes to Kyle, one minute it's like a son to him, and the next minute he's like mortal enemies. I don't know. Victor, I do love you, but you need to get over this. This obsession, I can't even speak, this obsession you have with Kyle, who is, what is this guy? A good 30, 40 years your junior? I don't know. But like, why are you trying to smush him like a bug? Bear in mind, Kyle is not the most innocent one out there, and we'll get to that. But, Victor, set your sights on something higher. Not Kyle and Claire shouldn't even be on your radar at this point in time. If he hurts her, which he has, but she don't really, does she know? We'll get into that. But she doesn't really know to what extent yet. She will. And if that's the case, she's smart enough to say, you know what, hit the bricks, buddy boy, and be done with it. Victor, this is not your place. I'm sorry. You got to stop it. Okay. So while they were in preparation for this memorial, Adam had walked in, and basically Victor was like, look here, you didn't do what I said that you needed to do as it pertains to the hit piece on Billy Boy. And why are you not listening to me? And you need to honor what I've said. And when I ask you to do something, you better do it. And Adam was like, look, I trekked up a mountain for you. I came to tell you information about Cain. Why are you even bothering with Billy? Cain's your big problem here, not Billy. And of course, Adam's trying to, hold the peace where Chelsea is concerned, because Chelsea doesn't want Adam to do any sort of hit piece on Billy. Even though they're not together, she cares about him somewhat. And whatever. But again, I really don't think you need to run a hit piece on Billy. It's unnecessary. So anyway, basically Adam's like, look, Pops, this is ridiculous. Set your sight on Cain. That's more important than anything with Billy. He's not the problem. Whatever. Cain's the one's been buying up all this property around town. Focus on that. Well, Victor gave him a little bit of a pass and basically was like, don't do it again. Don't do it again, that kind of thing. And even what's his name? Even Nick, sorry. You see, I forget their names sometimes because there's so much going on. But even Nick was like, I'm kind of on Adam's side here. This is unnecessary. Dad, stop doing this. Whatever. Leave Billy alone. Let's focus on what the dickens Cain is doing. Okay. So in the works, we'll get back to the funeral momentarily. But in the works, Cain is there with Phyllis. Oh, Phyllis. I love you too. However, you are on, if there was a street called Desperation Street, you'd be living on it. Cut it out. I know you want to have a job. You are so smart. Why don't you start your own little private eye detective business? Hacker, Hacker 101. Enough of this. Why are you trying to ride on Cain's coattails? And he's turned into this, psycho, if you will, where he, even just the look in his eye is like a madman. And he has now tried to get Billy involved with, his organization. And this week, basically, Billy, caught him in a bit of a you didn't tell me fib kind of thing. And sure enough, we see Jill. Yay, we see Jill. And he basically calls up, calls up Jill, FaceTimes her, and says, did you know about Cain? And furthermore, did you know that he was using this alias of Aristotle Dumas? Well, Jill was like, oh, I was wondering you were going to call me and this is what you have to say? And, not checking in on me. And now you're just going to harass me about this? Well, Cain reached out to me and told me about Colin and, that he was dying and his last request was to see me. And, I put aside everything in order to go and spend his last moments with him. And this is, you didn't even tell me. You didn't tell me about my grandson with Chance. What is this? Oh, she went on and on and on. And Billy just was like, okay, noted. But anyway, Mom, like, Jill, so did you know or did you not know? And she's like, well, yes, I did. What? And he's like, well, this may be the last time we have this conversation. Billy, that's your mother. Get over it. Put on your big boy pants and, like, move on. So she knew. Great. She didn't tell you you're a big boy. You weren't talking to her anyway because you were the man scorned because she sold Chancellor to Victor. And for whatever reason, you're like, that's my birthright. Mm, wouldn't it be Devon's? Just saying. Just putting that out there. Because he's more of a chancellor. And that's by blood. So I'm just confused a little bit here. And everything is when everybody's got it out for Billy. Even Phyllis was like, oh, Billy, maybe you're not cut out for this. Like, move along. So yes, Billy's all PO'd because, Mummy Dearest knew about Kane as well as his alias from time. All right. Let's head back to the funeral or memorial. That, once again, I don't know if I mentioned it last week. It had literally, it was a commercial break. That's how long it was. It was over. And yeah, of course, Victor, once again, he puts his little dig into Kyle. And Claire, she lost it and was like, look, I'm not an idiot. I know what you're saying. You're trying to put it on Kyle and make him feel like he's not a part of here. And you know what? My dad was for it. My mom and my grandma, they are okay with it. No more. I'm not doing this with you, Grandpa. I'm not. And she storms out and was like, don't want nothing to do with this. So she's been on a bit of a rampage where she's like, you know what? Kyle, we got to move in together. We're going to go and buy Adam's place. She approached Adam and Adam's like, whoa, what are you doing here? He's like, well, what do Newmans do when they meet? Well, they make deals. So have you sold the place or not? Well, at some point in time, Victor, he saunters in and he hears this whole, interaction going on. And he was like, you think you're going to buy this property? Like, that's not happening. And Kyle's like, what do you think, you own all the properties, real estate? And he's like, basically, watch me. Oh. I was like, okay, Victor, let's see how you're going to pull off that one. Like, what are they can't go nowhere? Silly man. Silly man. And of course, Adam's like, let me not say a word. And basically, Victor, after they storm out, Victor is like saying to Adam, what's the problem here? Like, I'm just trying to protect her and help her. Like, can she not see that? And he's like, look here, Pops, I think it's time that you give it up. Like, I don't think you can mess with young love. And, like, you gotta let it go. Like, focus. Once again, Dad, focus. Again, Victor just wants his, eggs in all these different baskets. But, yeah. So, now to Audra in this white dress. Victor had called her and was like, basically, you better come on over. So this is after Audra was skipping through the park, if you will. She ran into Kyle and Claire because, again, Claire was on this rampage and, sitting there and, spewing her guts to Kyle about how her disgust with her grandfather and, on the day of her father's memorial, blah, 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 how could he do this? And that's when Audra had, skipped on by. She basically made some remark to Kyle about, oh, and I didn't forget the meeting with Victor, but she had made a remark to Kyle about, oh, you left your phone charger in my train car. He's like, what? She's like, yeah, you don't remember? Like, when you were in my train car? And, of course, Claire's like, okay. So he's like, what, I don't remember this at all, but if I did, just chuck it. It's a phone charger. I don't care. I can buy. I have more of them. Like, and if it's that serious, I can buy another one. It's not a big deal. So she's like, "Well, I just thought you'd want it." So Claire basically said, "Oh, can you tell Nate that he's such a good guy?" And yeah, so that happened. So segue to being at Victor's place. Victor basically said to her, what I asked you to do where Kyle was concerned, you didn't do it. Your little, like, half, like, idiotic scheme, if you will, to try and, seduce Kyle didn't work. And Kyle's onto it. And Kyle basically, he feels that he's got one up on me. And I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. So, our deal with your little Penny Annie company, Vibrante, it is done. So she's like, but, Victor, these things take time, and I've got to, like, be gentle with this, and, he's like, no, not at all. You didn't do what I asked you to do, so the deal is off. I'm not funding your little company anymore, and yeah, you're done. And I want whatever money I've given you, I want it all back. She's like, you can't do that. He's like, who's gonna stop me? And she's like, I'm not going anywhere. He's like, pardon? So she's going on about, I signed a contract. A deal is a deal. Audra, you're paying with the big boys now. That means nothing. It means nothing. Because he will grind you in court if you even try to sue. So that's not going to go anywhere. I'd let it go. Well, she just, she went over, I think it was it Society? I think it was Society. But anyway, she met up with Sally, and she's there going on about Victor, and she basically had to kind of fess up to Sally because Sally was probing her as to what went on in Nice between her and Kyle. And she ends up saying that, yes, they kissed, but that was it. It wasn't going to go any further than that, what have you. So Sally's like, oh, well, that's not good. And she's like, but I'm not going to do anything with Kyle further than what I did. I was, sad because of Damien's passing and how it was going to affect Nate and Amy. Sally really wasn't buying it too much. And basically Sally's like, you know what, if Victor is wanting you to, like, cut ties, that kind of thing, just let it go. And if anything, spin it in a way to Nate where it was you making the decision to leave. And then Sally basically told her about her signing this paperwork for Chancellor, that she could run it, and not Chancellor, sorry, Abbott Communications, so that she could run it, and that if anything, even if she doesn't become CEO, that if she would be COO, then she can easily speak to Billy about hiring Audra on. Well, all I can say is we'll see. I don't know why you would want Audra anywhere like rumbling around business, because she is so shifty and shady. But you seem to be friends with her, so whatever. Anywho, and of course Kyle and Claire had walked in, and it was this whole Kyle, Claire, Audra bumping into one another throughout this week that was just a set of silliness. By the end of the week, yeah, Audra basically says to Kyle, because she speaks to him. I think they were at Society at this point having this conversation, and she's like, look, you know what? You kissed me, and, you have to admit you felt something, and Doesn't my girl decide to plant a big one on him right in the restaurant? Who's watching? Claire. Going, now, they're spinning this where Kyle's all into it, but I'm sure at the beginning of the week he's going to push her off. Meanwhile, Claire she may or may not see that. She may see it and fly off, or she may see it, which not may, but she has, see it and be like, what the hell is going on here? What is going on here? So who knows? She's already suspicious of Kyle because, again, Kyle was like, I would never violate our relationship, which he did. Didn't I say this? You went too far, Kyle. There was no reason for you to, like, bam, 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 clothes off, little towel holding on by the thinnest of threads. Like, was that necessary? Just to see how far? I mean, Jack has basically confronted you about it, going, you're playing a dangerous game here, Kyle. He's like, but I didn't. You're trying to weasel your way out of this, but just like Claire told Victoria, there's like this energy, if you will, between Audra and Kyle that she doesn't like. Yes, granted, as Claire said, she's like, look, he's my first relationship. And yes, I've been jealous before, but there's something between him and Audra that I just basically doesn't sit right with her. Claire, your little non-relationship, knowing self, you're spot on. You're spot on. Kyle, like I said, you went too far and you are going to lose her. And who you'll lose her to, I'm going to assume at this point, still Holden. Speaking of Holden, this guy, he shows up at Kane's suite at the club. And Lily was in there because Kane had asked her to come over. And I think he gave her a key. I'm thinking, wait, he gave you a key. When did you guys see one another? Was the key left at the front desk? The front desk that we never see? I don't know. So Holden shows up there and he's all hella mad because Lily through conversation, he's bringing up Damien, how they used to be best friends and how he basically threw him under the bus and, and he's got, XYZ life and left him in the lurches. And Lily's like, oh my God, you don't know. He's like, I don't know what. So then she tells him about Damien's passing and Holden, I don't know if I can believe your albeit performance of devastation that Damien was gone. Because the way he carried on was like, oh my gosh, no, how come nobody told me? Who's going to tell you? This is silly. Like, so basically he had told Lily that Kane I don't know if he said that he was offering him a job or whatever, and he wanted to talk about his credentials, whatever. Meanwhile, we already know that Holden and Kane have a connection, that he's basically working for him still, but whatever. And Lily, of course, is none the wiser where this is concerned. So I don't know if I can believe this performance that he was shocked to hear that Damien had passed. What? Was it an accident? No, it was murder. Oh. Okay, Holden. Yeah. I mean, bravo, you got your photo on the opening credits. Maybe you replaced Damien's photo. Maybe Kane replaced it. But bravo, you got it on the opening credits. I really don't know why your character really needs to be on the show, but I guess it's because you're a part of the organization. Okay, so that was that. Victor had met up with Devon and Lily at some point in time. I think that once again was at Society. And he told Lily to basically get close to Kane, pretend like you like him, and get information from him because we all need to know what he's up to. This guy is got asking Phyllis to hack into Jabot's servers and all kinds of craziness. He's like, and then she goes, well, what happens when I hack in? Because you know I can. He's like, then we could do a little shopping. Oh, I don't know if I'm anxious to see this, but I will say I'm probably more intrigued to see that than Lily, fawning over him to help, everyone's cause, and especially over Mariah. Oh boy. How much longer are we going to drag this out? Like, can it get any more boring? She killed the guy. Obviously, this is what happened. She smothered him, killed him, and that's the end of the story. But she still can't say anything? Is there a warrant out for your arrest? What is going on? Like, and I'm saying to myself, I don't think anybody cares anymore. Meanwhile, there's Tessa with Daniel strumming on guitars in the park, and she's there getting cozy up to Daniel, and either Daniel is, feeling where Tessa is concerned, or he's more like, I'm aware that you're trying to, put the moves on me, but I don't want to get involved with your relationship with Mariah. I don't know. I feel like Daniel's now pseudo developing some feelings for Tessa, and I know Tessa is easily developing feelings for Daniel. I mean, they've got a connection. Strumming on guitars. This guy's making up songs on his own, and she's all impressed. And yet again, we've got Mariah, who is sitting there talking to her mother, going on about how she still can't say it's been so terrible. She's speaking to a therapist now. Ooh, how do we know this? And Sharon's like, oh, good, very good. But, like, you need to talk to Tessa. And she's like, look, Mom, stop bothering me. I'm not talking to Tessa. Like, no. And if you keep pushing me, like, she's like, I'm going to dip. She's not going to be around. If that's the case, keep talking, Sharon. Let her dip. Because nobody needs to listen to this drivel for nonstop with her. Nobody cares. We don't care anymore because this has been going on too long. Once again, the whole niece story went on for over a month. This is clearly going on a lot longer. We need to stop. So, yeah. Me trying to think. Was there anything else this week? I don't think so. And once again, if there was, I plumb forgot. Everybody is at this point, they're on high alert. They're trying to figure out what Kane's moves are. And of course, I guess the highlight really was the fact that Claire stood up to Victor and she's trying to be about it herself with Kyle. But there's going to be there's a little wrench in there. Before I forget, I don't know what the dickens Victoria was wearing, that caftan looking thing. Now, don't get me wrong, I love caftans. It just did not look good on her at all. It just, what was that character? It's Two-Face, in the Batman series, Two-Face. Like, her caftan looked, because it had like the animal print on one side and the other side didn't. So if she was on a side profile, she looked like she was wearing all animal print. And then when she turned in the front, I'm like, the color didn't look good on her. She looked washed out. Forget about it. Claire, at the end of the week, she was wearing like a white floral, like bustier type thing. her hair was okay. I just didn't get that bustier story. Not that I don't like bustiers, but no. So I'm going to say the highlight of the week was Audra in that white dress. She looked on point in every which way, shape, or form. So, bravo, Audra. When it comes to the dress, bravo, stylist. I appreciate that. But what you did to Victoria, once again, I don't know. Remember that one time she was wearing this black and white outfit? She looked like a nun. Not that there's anything wrong with being a nun, but like that's not her post. So, I don't know what they're doing with her. But there you have it, folks. That was pretty much the week. So let's see if Kyle and Audra, if that really goes somewhere. I think Kyle is gonna push her off, and I think it's gonna be like he pushes her off. Claire's there, sees this, he turns around and is like, "It's not like what you think." I think it's going to end up something like that. Because, again, Victoria's already questioned Claire as to, do you think that you can trust Kyle? I mean, even Victoria had said to Jack, I hope that everything is okay and that basically Kyle's on the up and up. Well, let my prediction come true this week because I know that Claire is she is gonna blow a gasket now that she's seen this. So we shall see what the rest of the week holds. And once again, if you stuck around till the end of this video, I'm so grateful. You know, I appreciate your time. I love you very much. And you know what? Let's just see what this week holds. So I will catch you on the next video. Bye.